Welcome to War Bios, the podcast where we delve into the lives of history's most renowned military leaders and explore the strategic mind and moral character that shaped their decisions on the battlefield. I'm your host, General Biography, and today we're going to examine the early life and formative years of Chandragupta Maurya, one of ancient India's most fascinating figures. Born around 340 BCE in the kingdom of Magadha, which is now part of modern-day Bihar, India, Chandragupta Maurya was destined for greatness. His birthplace, Pataliputra, was a bustling city situated on the banks of the Ganges River, and it would later become the capital of his vast empire. As a young boy, Chandragupta would have been exposed to the vibrant culture and politics of Magadha, which was then ruled by the Nanda dynasty. Chandragupta's family background is shrouded in mystery, but historians believe that he belonged to the Kshatriya caste, the warrior class of ancient Indian society. His father, Sarbardasidi, was likely a minor noble or a military officer, and his mother's name remains unknown. Despite the lack of information about his family, it is clear that Chandragupta received an excellent education, which would serve him well in his future endeavors. As a young man, Chandragupta traveled to Taxila, a city located in present-day Pakistan, to pursue his education. Taxila was a renowned center of learning, attracting scholars and students from all over the ancient world. It was here that Chandragupta would have been exposed to a wide range of ideas and influences, including Greek philosophy, Buddhism, and Jainism. He would have also studied the works of the ancient Indian philosopher Kautilya, also known as Chanakya, who was a master of statecraft and diplomacy. One significant event that would have had a profound impact on Chandragupta's early life was the invasion of India by Alexander the Great in 326 BCE. Although the details of their encounter are unclear, it is believed that Chandragupta may have served as a guide or interpreter for Alexander's forces during their campaign in India. This experience would have given him valuable insight into the tactics and strategies of the Greek army, which he would later use to great effect against his own enemies. As we delve deeper into Chandragupta's early life, we see a young man who is increasingly drawn to the world of politics and warfare. He would have been influenced by the ideas of Kautilya, who advocated for a strong and efficient administration as well as a robust military. Chandragupta's education in Taxila and his encounter with Alexander the Great would have also shaped his vision for India, which he would later implement as the founder of the Mauryan Empire. In 317 BCE, Chandragupta met Kautilya, who would become his mentor and guide. Kautilya recognized Chandragupta's potential and began to groom him for greatness. Together, they hatched a plan to overthrow the Nanda dynasty and establish a new empire in Magadha. This marked the beginning of Chandragupta's remarkable journey, which would take him from the battlefields of Magadha to the throne of a vast and powerful empire. With his education in Taxila, his exposure to the ideas of Kautilya, and his encounter with Alexander the Great, Chandragupta is poised to embark on a remarkable journey that will take him to greatness. With the guidance of his mentor Kautilya, Chandragupta began his campaign to overthrow the Nanda dynasty, which had ruled Magadha for many years. The Nandas were known for their corruption and mismanagement, and the people of Magadha were eager for change. Chandragupta, with his charisma and military prowess, was the perfect candidate to lead the rebellion. In 317 BCE, Chandragupta launched a series of attacks on the Nanda Empire, using guerrilla warfare tactics and clever diplomacy to weaken his enemies. He formed alliances with other kingdoms and recruited mercenaries from across ancient India, building a formidable army that would eventually become the backbone of the Mauryan Empire. One of Chandragupta's most significant military victories was the conquest of the Paurava kingdom, which was ruled by the powerful King Porus. Although the details of this battle are unclear, it is believed that Chandragupta used his knowledge of Greek tactics, learned from Alexander's campaign in India, to defeat the Pauravas. As Chandragupta's power grew, so did his empire. He conquered kingdom after kingdom, incorporating their territories into the Mauryan Empire. He established a strong and efficient administration, using Kautilya's principles of statecraft to govern his vast territory. The Mauryan Empire became a beacon of prosperity and stability in ancient India. attracting scholars, merchants, and travelers from across the known world. Chandragupta's military campaigns were not limited to India alone. He also launched attacks on the Seleucid Empire, which had been established by Alexander's successor, Seleucus I Nicator. The Mauryan Empire eventually stretched from present-day Afghanistan to Bangladesh and from Kashmir to Tamil Nadu, making it one of the largest empires in ancient Indian history. Chandragupta's achievements went beyond his military conquests. He also implemented a range of social and economic reforms aimed at improving the lives of his subjects. He promoted trade and commerce, established a standardized system of weights and measures, and encouraged the development of arts and culture. Under Chandragupta's rule, the Mauryan Empire became a center of learning and intellectual inquiry. Scholars from across ancient India flocked to the imperial court, where they engaged in lively debates and discussions on philosophy, politics, and science. The famous Indian philosopher Kautilya was a key advisor to Chandragupta, and his works on statecraft and diplomacy remain influential to this day. As we explore Chandragupta's remarkable achievements, it becomes clear that he was driven by a vision for India, a vision of a unified, prosperous, and powerful nation. He was a true statesman who understood the importance of effective governance, military strength, and cultural development. As Chandragupta grew older, he began to feel the weight of his responsibilities as emperor. He had ruled the Mauryan Empire for over 2 decades, and the demands of governing such a vast territory were taking their toll. According to historical accounts, Chandragupta became increasingly disillusioned with the excesses of royal life and began to seek a simpler, more spiritual path. In around 298 BCE, Chandragupta abdicated the throne in favor of his son Bindusara. This decision was likely motivated by a desire to devote himself fully to his spiritual pursuits. Chandragupta had always been drawn to the teachings of Jainism, which emphasized nonviolence, self-control, and the pursuit of spiritual liberation. Under the guidance of the Jain sage Bhadrabahu, Chandragupta embarked on a journey of intense spiritual discipline. He renounced all worldly possessions, including his royal robes and jewelry, and adopted the simple attire of a Jain monk. For the next several years, Chandragupta traveled throughout southern India, practicing severe austerity and meditation. One of the most famous stories about Chandragupta's later life is his meeting with the Greek philosopher Megasthenes. According to historical accounts, Megasthenes was impressed by Chandragupta's wisdom and simplicity, and the two engaged in a series of lively debates on philosophy and politics. Despite his advanced age, Chandragupta remained committed to his spiritual pursuits until the end of his life. He eventually settled in the city of Shravanabelagola, in present-day Karnataka, where he lived as a Jain monk. According to tradition, Chandragupta died in around 295 BCE, after a prolonged period of fasting and meditation. The legacy of Chandragupta Maurya is complex and multifaceted. As a military leader, he was instrumental in shaping the course of Indian history, creating one of the largest empires in ancient Indian history. As a statesman, he implemented a range of social and economic reforms that improved the lives of his subjects. And as a spiritual seeker, he embodied the values of nonviolence, self-control, and compassion that are at the heart of Jainism. As we reflect on Chandragupta's remarkable life, we are reminded that true greatness is not just about achieving power or wealth, but about living a life of purpose, integrity, and wisdom. That's all for today's War Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, I'm General Biography reminding you to keep marching toward victory.